In this video, I want to give you my review of Wio, specifically their personal bank, Wio Personal. There's the new digital bank of the UAE. So if you've lived before in places like the UK or in Europe, you might be familiar with banks like Revolut or Monzo that are essentially these digital-only banks that really focus on giving you a really good user experience. Now, historically, the banks in the UAE have not been the best in terms of user experience, but this new bank, Wio, essentially has taken this model of Monzo, Revolut, these digital banks, and brought it into the UAE. So as someone who has now used Wio for the past year, ever since it became available in September of 2023, I want to give you my full review of the bank. And there's a lot of things to really like about Wio, but we'll talk about all of that, and we'll also talk about the cons, because this is not a perfect bank. I would not recommend you have all of your money in this bank, and we'll talk about all of the reasons for that today as well. By the way, if you want to open an account with Wio, I have my referral link down below. If you use that link, you're going to get 100 dirhams for free. So it's just completely free money. So if you don't have an account with Wio, you sort of might as well just open one, at least just to get that free money. Talking about the account opening experience, I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's just extremely easy. You just download the app, you go through like the introduction flow, you give you a couple of details. You're going to need to have your Emirates ID. You scan the Emirates ID. They don't even require any kind of proof of address or anything like that. So when you're arriving in UAE for the first time, which by the way, if you're looking to move to UAE, we also help people do that. And you can book a call with my partners down below. They can walk you through the process. But once you arrive in the UAE with Wio, you can just get your account open pretty much as soon as you have your Emirates ID. And because it can literally be just done on your phone, you don't need to go to a branch, anything like that. It should really be the first bank that you open in the UAE. So just an overview of what Wio is. They have two plans. They have the standard one and the plus one. You should really go for the plus one because a lot of the benefits of Wio really come into play on this plus plan. It's either 49 dirhams per month, or if you have at least 35,000 dirhams across all of your accounts, then it is going to be free. And at least if you're an entrepreneur moving to Dubai, probably you're going to have at least this amount saved up. So really, you're going to get all of this for free. A big question people will have is, well, seeing as this is a new bank, is a digital bank, is it safe to have your money in Wio? Well, if we just look at here, Wio is regulated by the Central Bank of the UAE. So it is regulated by the Financial Services Authority of the UAE, just like any other bank. So this is a bank just like any other bank. And that's important to understand. This is not just like a sort of a EMI, like a layer between you, the user, and a real bank. This is a real bank that actually hosts the money, that's regulated, everything like this. And if you go to the press releases about who actually owns Wio, the digital banking platform's primary shareholders, ADQ and Abu Dhabi, which if we look at what that actually is, it is the primary investment holding company of essentially the Abu Dhabi government. So basically, given that this owns 65% of the company, this is almost like a semi-government owned company. And the UAE government, they have a lot of money. So I don't think we really need to be worried that this is going to go under or something like that. And it is also owned by Etisalat. Etisalat is one of the two main mobile service providers in the UAE. And then First Abu Dhabi Bank, which is one of the largest bank in the UAE with a 10% stake. So it's owned by pretty big players. So I don't think there's any real reason to think that this is not safe. Now, obviously, we never know what's going to happen. But really, it has the same risk as any other bank might have. And the banks in the UAE, they're all very well capitalized. I made a full video about banking in the UAE if you want to check that out, where I go a bit deeper on this. Now going into the actual app. So this is a mobile only bank at this point. Now I've clicked a button here that just hides the money that I have. But usually you would have all of your money in here across your savings and accounts and investments. And then you're going to have accounts, so normal bank accounts. You're going to have your savings, which I'll talk about in a second, and investments. So you can even invest via this platform. So it's a really intuitive platform, which is extremely welcome for me because a lot of the app experiences with a lot of the other banks in the UAE, now not all of them, but some of them, especially Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank, is absolutely horrendous. But this one is actually very professional. One of the main perks is the savings here. You can get up to 5.5% savings rate. Now there's a bit of a catch because what you need to do to get the 5.5% is you go in here and save, and then what you can do is open either a fixed saving space or a normal saving space. So what a fixed saving space means is that you choose a duration for some amount of time, and based on that duration, they're going to give you the interest rate. So to get that 5.5%, you would need to have your money there for at least 6 months, which is not really bad. What I've been doing is essentially open up a new one of these 6-month saving spaces every single month. But nowadays, just for liquidity, I prefer to have most of mine in just the regular saving space that does allow me to withdraw the money at any point. And what I really like about these is that, for example, on this one right here, I've got 20,000 dirhams and just shows me exactly how much interest I'm going to get at the end of the period and when it is going to be paid. And you can even click on it and see some details about it. In terms of spending, now they recently released, I believe a few months ago, the Wio credit card. And this one's also really good, mainly because you get 2% cash back. And it's just very clear 2% cash back. What I like about just a flat 2% cash back is that I know exactly what it's going to be. Whereas if I'm getting airline points or something like that, then I'm really having to like calculate, okay, how much cash back, like how much are these extra points really worth? And like, it's going to depend on where you redeem them and things like this. And what I also like is that, let's say you're on a transaction, like this transaction here, it will just show you exactly how much you earn in cash back. And then also on this app, you can go here on rewards, which is going to show you how much cash back you have earned and when it's going to be paid. And just at the end of each month, they're just going to pay that cash back directly to your bank account. In terms of the con here with the card is that it is more limited with the perks. Like it's pretty much just the 2% cash back. Whereas with something like the Skywards Infinite credit card that I have with Emirates MBD, I'm also getting a ton of other benefits like travel benefits. I'm getting airport lounge access. I'm getting like all these luxury benefits. So what I would probably have is one of those more traditional credit cards, like the best one you can get. And then this one for this just very clear 2% cash back. And this is where we get to the fact that yes, you have a 2% foreign currency fee, but you also get the 2% cash back even on foreign currency spends. So really that equates to like a net zero. I can look at any transaction that I have, like for example, this one is going to tell me the amount in Malaysian ringgit because I've recently been spending with this in Malaysia. It's going to tell me the exact foreign exchange transaction fee that was charged, and it's going to tell me the exact cash back, which as you can see, these are the same amounts. So really I'm spending in ringgit with this dirham card for free. But what's even better, if you're spending in specifically either the US dollar, the British pound or the euro, is that they have these multi-currency accounts. So if you go into your accounts, you can see that I have an account in UAE dirham, the US dollar, the euro, and the British pound sterling. But what's also really unique with Wio is that if you're spending money, not with your credit card, but with your debit card from your own funds, as they call it, if that transaction is in US dollars, it is automatically going to take the amount from your US dollar account. And you also get 1% cash back on those US dollar spends. So whenever I'm spending money online on US dollars, I will have my other card, which is my virtual debit card that I've set to be going from my own money. But if that transaction is in US dollars, like for example, this one right here, it is automatically going to take it from my US dollar account as long as there is money on that US dollar account. In terms of the analytics, you can essentially set yourself a budget and they're going to sort of try to categorize your spending into some categories and things like this. Now, as of now, this isn't really that good. Like I see what they're trying to do here, but I just love to have a bit more features. Like for example, I'd like to be able to filter transactions, like find certain transactions. I'd like to be able to perhaps categorize them myself if the app, which as it often does, it categorizes them wrong. So I think they will get there as they improve these features in the future. For now though, it's not super useful for me yet. So that's pretty much the app. The other thing you can do just within Wio is invest in stocks or index funds or ETFs or something like that. So essentially you could have all of your money, your savings and your investments just within Wio. Now I've chosen not to do that because I just don't want to have all my money in just one account. I have a large portion of my just savings, my cash savings within Wio with the 5% or the 5.5% interest rate. So I've chosen for a different platform called Interactive Brokers. If you want to open an account with them, I'll also have my referral link for them. You get up to $1,000 for free stock if you use that link. A few more cons about Wio. The customer care can be pretty horrendous. Like I can't remember what issue I had with it, but there was some issue I had and it was just so difficult to get through with them. I don't know how they've done it, but whenever I would go through the WhatsApp customer care, they would take ages to reply. And when they would reply, I would get back to them. Then essentially it would seem like there's someone else now looking at the chat where it seems like they can't even see the previous chat. And it was just a whole mess. It literally felt like they've hired someone who barely speaks English to try to do this customer service. And there's been a lot of reports online as well about the customer service. I really hope they improve that because it's really a shame to see with their product, other than the customer service being really good, to have a customer service be so bad. Really great platform. Again, if you want to open that account, you're going to get 100 dirhams for free if you use my link down below. Now you are going to have to choose the Plus account, but again, if you have the 35k on Wio, then it's going to be free anyway. And even if you have to pay the 49 dirhams a month, that's still like an extra 50 dirhams for completely free. With that said, if you want to hear my full review of banking in the UAE, what are all the banks that I use, including how I invest in the UAE, then you can watch this video right here. So go watch that video next, and I'll see you in the next one.